Did you make it in time?
I don't know. Did I?
Go hit that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's showtime.
Oh, whoa. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Albert's already on, I can see. Very first one. So, we're starting episode 3. We didn't get to do this past Friday. We had a lot going on, and we will continue having a lot going on throughout this build series because we just have a lot going on in our life. So definitely going to try and hit every Tuesday. Instead of doing tech talk, we're just going to be doing this. And I have set up some stuff to go ahead and speed up the process of what we're doing tonight, but I'm going to try and cover the main things and try to get some measurements out. This series is really going to be based off if you get the plans to build the jig. All my measurements for this series come off of this jig, but I am going to try to give you guys measurements to help you, and I'll also explain how I would do it along the way if I didn't have the jig, and basically the steps I would take to be able to accomplish what you're trying to do at home. So I guess we will go ahead and jump right in, because we're not running this as a live tech talk where we talk to you guys, so we ain't got to really worry about waiting on people to join in.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I am going to say one comment that I saw. Albert said, nice haircut.
It's still there. Don't worry. It's still there.
I just trimmed him up a little.
Last night. So, enough with the hair. It's still there. We're going to jump into tonight's episode, and that is going to be the floor. This is a 69 floor, 69 frame rails. I will show you guys, because this is 68, 69 frame rails, and some of you guys may not know. I don't know. I'm sure you figure it out once you start putting a 69 frame rail into a 68 car. It does not work. They don't make a 68 frame rail as far as I know. They make 67 both sides. They are correct for the 67, and the 69 frame rails come, or the 68 frame rails come as 68, 69, but they will only work in a 69 without mod, or you modify it to fit into a 68 car. And I will basically show you guys what you do to do that mod. I do have a video, and I'll post it later down below, not on the screen because I don't know how to do that, but I will put it in the description. Frame rail mod, and it shows you how to do the frame rail mod using my frame rail template. You can email me. I usually try to give it away, and some people ask to buy it, and I just give them my PayPal, which is down below, my Cash App, Venmo, and I tell them if they want to buy it, feel free to donate, you know, whatever to the channel. If not, as long as I don't get overwhelmed with millions of them, I try to give them away. I will hit on that. I'm not going to do a frame rail mod because I've already done it, but I will show you guys the basic concept of what you need to do that. And I will also point out that if you are building a 68, you can buy the right hand side of a 67 frame rail and not have to mod it, and then buy a left hand 68, 69, and you only have to mod one side. So buy the right hand 67 for the 68 car, and then a 68, 69 for the left side, and mod just one, unless you just want to mod both. So we'll jump into this. I'll let Aaron get the camera, and I guess I will start off with the frame rail mod and show you guys basically what it is. and how I do it. Let me get some gloves on and some safety glasses. They are kind of dingy. I just want to say I love you guys, and may God bless you and your family. I pray for all you guys. I pray that you come to know Jesus Christ, and that you seek Him and you learn the truth. So if Erin wants to come around here, she could probably get it better. But let me grab my trusty scribe. So this is the left-hand side frame rail, and what I do is I have this frame rail template, and what I do is I lay it on here and I put it up against the shoulder of this, not up against the weld, because as you can see it won't fit. I put it up against the shoulder of that, push it hard to the top, and what I do is I just scribe down this over like that, and then right here. But this section of it, you're not gonna cut. What you're gonna do is cut straight in line from that, cut it down, cut that, cut it over right there in line, and then that right there is gonna be your fold area. If you look at this part that you're cutting off, that tab is gonna fold in. You're gonna take this frame rail mod, and you're gonna put it on this side, and you're gonna redo that process, and you see this one's folded out. That means that tab will fold out. On the bottom side, on my video, it just shows that you, wherever you're ending, wherever this ends at, right here, you're just gonna copy that piece in this. So it'll be a straight up here, a curved over, and down at an angle. And that will copy that, and it will fold in. Check out the video and it will show you. And like I said, you can email Erin at theinstallationcenter.com or message me on Facebook. I think I'm fixing to delete my TikTok and my Facebook off my phone, so I might not get back to you right then, but I'm going to try to keep up with the Facebook at least on Fridays. Just another thing that I have to do besides doing it all day, every day.
Less screen time, so we're dedicating certain time to Facebook, but not. It's hard to avoid it when it's right there on your cell phone. Every time you pick it up, you want to open it, and then an hour goes by, and you're like, "What have I done?"
So, I have to go grab some backing plates. Let me grab some of the nut stuff.
Y'all see the shop is slat full again. It's good stuff.
So these are just the spring perch nuts. And first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get, I guess I'll turn it around over here so you can see it. If I don't hit myself in the head. Where are you going? I'm going to be right here.
I don't know where I'm going.
Huh?
I just saw you flipping.
I better flip it around the other way because the light's shining there, and if you get on my opposite side, you're going to end up being in the light.
See? Something told me I needed to be over here.
So, right here, these frame rails are usually never quite right. They work. Everything requires modding. So what I do is this area in this thing, to be able to get movement out of this, I usually have to cut this down. So I usually trim this down a little bit. You'll notice that some of them might not need trimming. And then also I look at where, if I was center of this, you can see that hole's off. So if I was to go in the center of it, that hole up here, I'm not sure if you can see it. That hole doesn't line up. So when you clip this on, you want to at least be able to access that hole with your bolt. So sometimes I had to grind that out some. Let me get some earplugs in, at least some that I can not kill my ears, but also have a little so I'm just going to take some out, and I'm just using a deburr tool. So get that out, and I don't know where I put my right here. I'm all over the place, so I usually try and knock off the burr and get my clip, and I just tap my clip in. Sometimes that way it's got a little movement, but you can see I can't get the bolt in because my hole needs to go back that way some. So pop it out, and I know I need to go back. I need to go back with it and this way, so. Hopefully I went the right way. This will save you time when you're building your car, especially when you go to putting your springs in and your spring perch, and next thing you know you realize that it's not in the right spot. So now I got a good hole there. And this one was the left hand side, so I'll go put this over on the left side, and I'm going to get these, my pen, and this hammer will work probably.
This is how he gets 10,000 steps in like an hour.
Yeah. Usually I have everything like my cart right here. So whenever I put these in, my dad has gotten the dimensions on the pins, and I think he's gonna price out trying to make pins if anybody wants to purchase pins from him. So put that in. I have my pin, and my pin goes into my jig, and then I have my spring perch. Now, the spring perch, I see a lot of people putting frame rails in their car, and they don't know how to locate their frame rail. They just stick it in there, and I'm sure they end up running into a problem. But I try to put my spring perch in. That way this helps set my width on my floor to where it needs to be with the whole build. So I go ahead and put the spring perch in. That way when I set my floor on here, I'll locate this on my floor and that, and it should fall directly into position, and that will center my floor in reference to my frame rails. That's a big word, right? Reference. I don't know where I did with, I'm gonna have to go check in the spot welder. That was the last thing I was using. Aha. And here it is. So we probably won't get super far with this, but I'm gonna try to get as much as I can and tell you guys as much as possible. So I had to get a bigger hammer. Now I'm gonna tighten it. I'm gonna leave my pin in. Like I say, if you build the jig that I have the plans for, that I'm going to work on tonight, because I'm trying to finalize the whole setup on it and how I'm going to do it. You can actually build this on the jig. You don't have to do it on this. This right here just allows me to be able to rotate it and weld it a whole lot easier. But I promise you, you can do it all on that if you need to. So I just tighten it down, keep my pin in, make sure my pin moves freely, and I'm gonna get on the other side so Aaron can see. Now I'm going to put pressure forward because I'm going to be driving back on this. So I'm going to put forward, and I want to fold these back and over brake this. I talk about over braking in about everything I do, because if it's over broke and I get my floor set in here and I get it up against here, if it's a little bit away, I can always hammer this back once I start weld up and I move this out of the way. I do have holes in this 5/16 for my plug welds, because my spot welder will not get in here and weld this, because this part is actually welded to that plate torque box piece that comes already welded on the floor. If it wasn't welded on there, then I could weld it to this, and then I could put the floor on it and weld it to that. But that's how they come. This is just as good. So what I'm gonna do is just hammer this back and over brake it, and I'm pushing forward to keep my frame rail from driving back. So basically I just folded it where it needs to be. This I'm gonna just hammer it down a little bit. It ain't gotta be terrible, and I'm gonna do the same on this side. So now I'm flush with that, flush with that. It's a little bit bent forward, but like I say, when you get the floor in here and you start welding it, you can always weld all this and then come back and hammer this back and make it tight against your floor. This is gonna help you get your floor into position to get these bolts in up front. Now I'm gonna do the same process on this side. My pin still moves nice and free. I will snug this down a little bit more just to make sure it didn't come unloose. The back, I usually just finger tight. It's not gonna go nowhere. And I'm gonna go on the other side and do the same thing. Once I find my bolt and my tools. It would help if I go ahead and clean this out a little bit. I don't know what I did with the, I think I left it over here. Probably, I did. So got this, and I'm just checking to see, and it looks like there's plenty of room if I get my string out of the way. Because if I slide this all the way to the forward of the hole, it's about in line. It looks like it might could come back, but we'll try it. First. And you ain't got to worry about taking too much. I mean, get my Martha Stewart hammer, and we can see that it lines up. I can get my bolt in. It's looking kind of iffy. I'm gonna knock it out, and that way I don't fight with it. Got to come towards me. And knock the burr off. Now we have a little bit more room. It's gonna make it easier to assemble when you got room. Now, gonna do the same thing. We'll stick it up. I have pre-drilled the end. I could spot weld it, but I have known that when I spot weld them, I always end up, you can see there's spot welds here, this factory, because this piece is welded onto the floor, but I have had to drill this piece off and remove it later in the build if my tail panel ain't sitting right, because these pieces are angled and welded in the wrong spot. And if I go through here with my spot welder, I end up spot welding through it, and it makes 3 times as many spot welds to drill out than right now. If I plug weld it to the bottom of the floor, I only have to do 6 spot welds versus there's 6 already in it, and then I put 3 more in it when I come down welding. Then I had to remove, what, 12 spot welds, and then it messes this piece up, and I had to grind it and had to clean it and make it look factory. So I find that it's just easier to just go ahead and plug weld the bottom, and then if I have to remove this, it don't mess it up that bad. So them are spot plug welded too, and that's why that is like. Put my pan in to hold it in place, and I'm going to get my rear shackle. And I'm just gonna lock this in place. And with the jig, if you look at this one here on the inside, it's slotted, and the plate welds onto the side like this, and the components, the materials list welds to the side of it, and then it ends up, it's slotted, and that way you can move your frame rail up and down on your jig to account for your door gap. Some of you guys know what video I'm talking about, and it's about lifting up the back end to change the door gap. And the reason this is because I have set several hundreds of Camaros on the frame on my jig, and all of them seem to line up with everything unless they've been wrecked. And I've seen variations up to a little over a ½ inch on the back. So usually every Camaro I build, I never go any higher than a ½ inch if I try to lift up the back end. I don't never, because a majority of them are within a ½ inch. So that's the reason for that. Now, I know there's probably people out there that's like, oh, that's not right, that's gonna mess it up. But I'm telling you, there's probably nobody out there that's built more Camaros than we have, and I've seen hundreds of them. We've built over 700 cars, and I know what I'm talking about. So, now, I guess GM built more than I have, but Fisher body, whatever you want to call it. But I wouldn't steer you wrong. I've probably lifted 1/2 inch, probably 95% of the Camaros that we've built. Sometimes I'm like, I should just make it a 1/2 inch higher and just leave it at that. But I don't, because there are times that I don't have to do it. So I don't know which one's right, the 1/2 inch up or the 1/2 inch down. Tighten that. I'm gonna hammer this back again. I would have got over on the inside, but I can't hammer left-handed. I can't hammer right-handed either, can I? Back down. Before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and knock the burrs off those holes that I drilled earlier. I probably should have did it before I sprayed the paint. But if you leave the burr on there and you get a 16th here and then you get a 16th somewhere else and then a 16th, before you know it, by the time you get to the end of the car, you're at a 1/2 inch and then you got a problem. So I try to keep it at a minimum.
See, that was a good tech tip.
Huh?
That was a good tech tip.
Yes. It's like roofing. We ain't gonna go there, but I'm gonna move these. I'm gonna check this one more time. Snug it up. I don't want it to move on me. Good. Move these out my way. I don't know what time we're looking at.
30 in.
Still pretty good. Now I'm going to get my other 3 or 4 and possibly need this, and I'm going to go into my floor. I'm going to move these over here
To another floor.
this is a 68 floor and this is a convertible. This one has the convertible braces underneath it. It's already welded and built. This car will be back from blast, so I'm just trying to get ahead on it. When it comes back from blast, I'll be throwing this car together and it'll be out of here. Now, sometimes I have to do the same thing on my floor here. You can see that how thick it is right there. And that's going to cause this thing to be kicked down and it's not going to sit into the spot where it is. That one there is pretty thick. That one's pretty thin. That one's pretty thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean all them up and then I'm gonna stick this up there, check, make sure that the holes are pretty much lined up. They all look like they're pretty good. So I'm gonna clean them out. My tools over here. Get it. We'll go ahead and spray it. Even though at the end of the build all this will get painted, but just go ahead and hit those bare spots. I'm gonna come on that side and grind that while that dries. This one's really big, you can tell. Like it's near about as big as the, so that thing needs to come up. Instead of downing these companies that make these parts and hollering about the part ain't right or this ain't right, we should really be thanking these companies for making these, because they're saving these cars. If they wasn't making them, we wouldn't be able to save them. This little bit of modding here and there, it's just tricks that you have to learn. And all of them work. They all can be modded and made to work. So really, instead of fussing, we should be hitting these companies up and telling them thank you. You know, if they wasn't doing this, we wouldn't have these parts. I wouldn't have a job.
I just have to say out loud. David Fitzwater said, I'll need the pins, the jig, and Juby. Then I'll be set.
Well, you got me. I'm here. And I appreciate it. And I'm working on it as fast as I can. So I will definitely be working on it tonight. I took pictures of the jig so you would have a little bit more of a reference than just the blueprints, and but I do have the blueprints and everything like that already done, and my dad has the measurements. He's getting a cost on all that stuff, so I appreciate it. And you know, when we call these companies up or we leave bad reviews and stuff like that, it's like being married or with somebody else or with a girlfriend or whatever, and the girl has a problem with something you do in your life, or you have a problem with something she does in her life, and you just can't seem to make it work because you have a problem. So you end up leaving them instead of trying to fix the problem. Well, I can guarantee you, when you leave her or she leaves you and goes to the next person, she's gonna have something that's there that she don't like about that person. So stay with that one person and make it work. If you buy a part and the part don't work, chances are you're gonna buy another part and that part might not work. It might have a worse problem than the first one. And instead of calling these companies up and cussing them out and going off and all that on Facebook or on their website or on their reviews, go on there and say, hey, I really appreciate you making these parts. It's truly a blessing. I really appreciate it, but hey, there is an issue in this if you could see about fixing it. And they will probably more than likely feel more obligated to try and contact you and help you with your situation than you going off. It's only going to make you angry. It's like riding down the road and you go off at somebody and you get mad and you're hollering at them. You ain't hurting them at all. They're going to keep on about that day, and your day's going to be horrible. Just some wisdom. Yeah. So.
And in less than 30 minutes, you've made these modifications, and if we were to tell the manufacturer, hey, this helps if I do this, they may very well not be able to retool everything, but they could put that note in the instructions for the next guy that buys this floor, so they'll know it going into it. Hey, I'm gonna have to wallow that hole out a little bit.
AMD actually, I don't know if they still do, but I know when they sell their tail panels, they actually have my video down below in their tail panel link, showing how to install the tail panel. One of my tail panel videos. I would like to redo all of them so that they would have all of them and have all these tips and tricks. People are like, why are you telling everybody this? Why are you giving it all away? I don't care. God's gonna make sure that I'm provided for no matter what. If I told everybody in the world how to build a Camaro, I don't think it's gonna be the end of my life and my job.
No.
I
Our
enjoy
calendar's
helping.
still full, and we appreciate the guys that let us build their cars, and we also appreciate the guys that do it at home.
Yeah, I enjoy building, but I don't think that it's gonna make or break me.
No, because even if you, like, you could tell me how to make a souffle, step by step. I'm still not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like I can tell people how to build the car, and there's still gonna be people out there that's gonna struggle with it, and I wish I could help you all and all that, but it's just not possible. This one looks like it might be a little problem. I'm gonna try and grind it a little while it's in here. Just gonna be careful not to hit the threads.
Ooh.
So if I do, I'll just have to get another one. So I'm gonna go a little bit. And trust me, I do talk to them when AMD comes down here, which is about every Friday. I talk to them about issues, and they try to get it fixed, but there's only so much they can do. So I got them cleaned out. The floor's prepped, and I don't know what I'm looking at on time.
20 minutes to go.
Huh?
20 minutes left.
So we'll get the camera up there. I'm going to get Aaron to help me set this up. I'm going to, I really need to put I guess, you might have to get the camera again, because I'm not quite ready. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the trunk floor on before I put this one up there. Aaron can show you the part number. This is 67 through 69. I just need to take this and do a little cleanup on it. This floor is for a convertible. This is a Dynacorn floor, and the Dynacorn floor comes with this convertible plate on here. I am going to remove this convertible plate off of here, and I'll weld up them holes. But I guess for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to clean it because I'm going to remove them, and I showed you guys how to do the plug weld, how to drill out spot welds. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this up there and continue doing some mods on the main floor, and then I'll take this back off, drill this off, and I'll have this ready for when we come back next Tuesday or either Friday. I'm going to try and do it Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and get this floor set up on there if I can, probably by myself.
We have a great chiropractor.
Yeah, I just went. It's not that bad. I just didn't want to waste y'all's time drilling off those when I know that I'm gonna have to pull this thing back off.
We hit a new high. We have 75 watching live.
So on my jig, I'm going to, on the next video, I'm going to give y'all a measurement from the floor to the back of the floor back here. And I will also give a measurement on a point in this floor to the back edge of this floor. That way you can do it because you won't have this little jig thing that I have. So I will get y'all a measurement on the next video when I'm setting up that floor completely before weld up. And I will also come in here and show y'all how to measure this out and how to exit out. But right now, my jig, I made these so that I can why? Oh, because these are rubber bolts. So that I can locate the floor quick and simple, and I don't have to worry about pulling a measurement. So I'm just going to put it up here, snug it with my hand, and that holds this floor in the correct spot for this build. Now, up here on the front, you can see that the floor is sticking up in the front and it's all laying up. I use a big clamp and pull this down, but to help relieve it, I drill these spot welds out. That way this piece can slip and move while this piece comes down. It's all welded and it kind of makes a box, and it's hard to crush a box with the edges welded, but if you open up one end, it's easier to crush. So I'm gonna open up this right here so that I can smash this down later on in the build. So I'll drill them out on both sides and just give me some room, and I'll fix it later on in the build. I guess we'll go ahead and set the floor.
Just hit 80. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us.
I might get the floor up there myself, but this thing is dusty. Let me blow it off. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. It's been sitting in the back for a long time because I work paycheck to paycheck. I'm not rich by any means, and I've been purchasing parts along the way. So this part was like one of the first, and it's been sitting, so it's pretty dusty. So I don't want. I guess just pick it up on that side. I don't want air injection, so set it right there, and I'll go around on that side and grab it, and you just stay on this.
Okay.
And all this where I gotta go back with it, and like I say, these pieces here, the spring purchase, are what helps locate the front end of the car. It's going to give me this distance because it can only go so far back and forth. I'm going to look at my holes. that was in there to where it
Was holding.
it was painted and stuck, so I just knocked it loose. And I'm still a good ways away. I'm gonna free up the other side. This side's pretty close. I'm tight on here. My frame rail on this side looks like it's really good. So I'm going to work on this, pulling this side back and see if I can get a bolt in it by my strap, my trusty strap here, and get me some bolts. So what I usually do is I hook my strap onto here, and then I just come back somewhere on the jig and hook the other side. That way I can pull it back. And get it kind of lined up. Now, I have seen these off, and both of them look to be off a little bit.
What's off?
This plate. So this side, I might could fight it in there, but I'm not going to. So I'm gonna get a clamp and put on here. Let me see right here.
It's another one I gotta say it out loud. Sideways says, that firewall looks rough.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this in the car, man. It's gonna be a good one. So it is out of the place. I can go ahead and put my bolt in on the side. That locates it. Possibly. It's not wanting to go. Y'all see the struggle?
Mm-hmm. They said you just threw the firewall from DG.
That's that meat hammer. Let me get this. I throwed the firewall.
Mm-hmm. I mean the floor, sorry.
So, all of the struggle I'm having is the space in between it. I'm trying to get it seated down so that I can get the bolt started, so that I can draw it down with it like that. Just had a little bit of space, and I'm gonna have to remove all this anyways to drill out that piece over there. I ain't gonna put that in, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this loose. And you see it didn't move, and I know the other side's not gonna go, so I'm gonna start drilling out tilted a little bit. I throwed everything. I like to pilot drill. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, a lot of times if it's not too bad off, this looks pretty good. Usually if that's lined up and this area looks good, I usually only drill off the nut plate and move the nut plate back. I can get a seat pan and put the seat pan on there and see how it's lining up. So the seat pan looks like it's good. The hole in there is a little bit off, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move just the plate and not move the whole pan piece on this side. Not sure on that side, so there's 4 and there's 4 over there. So. And I just drill partially. This one's gonna be tricky because they got both spot welds pretty close on top of each other. But if I can get one, I should be able to tap it around and it should come right off. So y'all get to learn a little spot weld removal again. What I did was drilled basically what I thought through this, and I just drilled with this one until I made a full circle, and then my little bit that I made.
Jeff said it looks good from his house.
Appreciate it. So then this will ride in that and cut. See how it just freed itself? This bit has a flat spot on it, and that's why it just fell out. I can't work that hand. I got arthritis.
Better than diabetes.
So I just didn't tighten it tight enough. I'm gonna
Ranch it down.
ranch it down now. That side was so close. I don't know where I did with my hammer.
It fell on the floor, didn't it?
Well, I don't know where my Martha Stewart went,
Oh.
but pop that loose, and I'm going to find my Martha Stewart hammer. And my air, and I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna come through here, and I'm gonna pop up over here like that. Don't try that at home. So what I want to do right now is where I just peeled that up, it bent it a little bit, so I'm just gonna hit it out on the anvil a little bit, get it back flat. You want everything flat and tight when you go back to spot or float up. Because if it's up in the air, ain't gonna be no good. Clean off any burr. Usually it's only one side that I have to do, but it figures. But it's a good thing. Because now you get to see what happens. So now I'm just gonna clean this thing up back this way to get it lined up. I could drill all this out and move it back and then weld, but it's not gonna hurt anything. can promise you that my jig is not wrong. It's the floor. And what I think, my theory behind why this plate is welded in the wrong spot is because I believe that their hole that the laser cuts in the floor, they cut it in the wrong spot, and then the person on the assembly line comes and lines this up directly with the hole and then sets it into position over here, and they spot weld it. And if you look at them, it leans. You can actually look at if I had a square, you can see that it's kicked forward. This is back in the correct location, but this is shifted forward. If I drilled all that out, I could shift it back to where it needs to be, but it's not going to affect anything. I've moved this back. When I put my seat pan on, I'll just cheat my seat pan back, and I still got plenty of space for my seat pan to rest here and for me to be able to weld this and weld my seat pan around, and my seat pan will be in the correct spot. So that's why I do it this way versus taking all those spot welds out.
And that's 1 hour.
Now, if it's really, really bad, I take the whole plate off. That side over there, the whole plate's probably gonna have to come off. Have to get a primer, because I want to spray it. Because as you can see, it's not sprayed from the factory, and I've seen rust under them before already. But don't go getting upset and deciding that you want to drill all this stuff off, because when you drill this and off, it's not painted underneath it. And yes, rust is going to form. You're not going to get all the rust everywhere. I see people, well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. How are you going to protect this? You can't protect it. As soon as I paint this, paint that, and I start plug welding right here, it's going to burn the paint out from under between it, and it's going to rust. Just enjoy your car and don't let the rust keep you up at night.
Protect it where you can and move on.
Trust me, when I built my dad's car, I was the same way. I was like, oh man, there's going to be rust here. It's going to happen, I promise. And these cars lasted this long, and if you brought it here and we do what we do, it'll probably last you 3 times as long as it did from the factory, because we treat every part that we can inside and out where they didn't from the factory. So I don't want to grab that and lift it because the floor is not bolted. So I don't want to lay it on there because it's not dry. See if I can speed up that.
What you got left? We're out of time. What you got left? We're out of time.
I'm gonna stick it on there and I'm gonna bolt it up in it. And what I do is I try to float this in the center, and then I try to center it over the hole, and I screw it in. So that gives me my range of movement. And if you look at it, it didn't really change much. It still looks good. It's straight. It's centered. I ain't gonna have to fight with it. Whoever gets this car ain't gonna have to fight putting their subframe in there. It's there. I'll come back. I'll plug weld those up, and then I'll do the same thing on that side. We're out of time, so I guess Aaron can put the camera over there, and we're gonna go to Farmville. Put my stuff up. We're trying to keep it within an hour. That way it's enjoyable for others who are watching and don't want to sit and go 30 minutes into a show and then get to the good part and then end up just belling out, because most of the videos only get watched for like the first 15 minutes. And if we're standing here talking and not working people are not going to watch it. And I want it to be enjoyable for you guys.
And informative.
Yeah, and informative. And if you have any questions, post your questions, and on the next video, I will try to answer those questions and help you guys out. You might see something that I forgot, or something that you do that you think would benefit me. So that's what this is about. You guys helping teach me, teach you. So I'm by no means, I don't think I'm the best in the world at this, but I do have a lot of cars under my belt being built, and I just try to share my knowledge with you guys, and also Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. I thank Him every day. Sometimes I don't thank Him enough, but He give me all the talents that I have, and He can take them away from me anytime He wants. And if He took it all from me today, I would still glorify Him, because I know my reward in heaven is way greater than my reward here on earth. I love you guys, and if you don't know Jesus Christ,
you can message us about that too.
Message us, or
we don't only
seek
talk
Him.
about cars.
If you seek Him, I promise you, He will make Himself known. I love you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys that reach out. I appreciate the guys that pray for us, and girls. There's girls on here as well, guys and girls. So anyways, I love you guys, and maybe see you Friday, but if not, definitely next Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you know next time we go live. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you, mean it. God bless you.